What's up, y'all? Your boy QP, Heather Hertz, Nerds Rule the World, back for our entertainment picks. Feeling kind of blasé today. I'm gonna be real. It's February 24th of this recording. We're about to close out February. How are you, Heather? How's your February been thus far? Are you still surviving in the apocalypse?
I guess we're getting somewhere somehow. I'm fine. Bombed an exam yesterday. That was great. Mind is definitely in a terrible place, but you know, at least I get to troll maggots on the internet. So there's that.
Drink the tears. Drink the tears. I'm sorry you failed, homie, but you know,
Eh.
we live, we learn, and do you let me be constructive. Do you feel it's earned, or that, or do you know what you did wrong and you understand it, and you're just how are you going to build to turn it a negative into a positive?
Well, for one thing, for those of you who are in college at any level, it doesn't matter if you're going back to it like me or if you're a youngster out there. I know that our average, we're old as fuck, so our average viewership is a little bit older. But for those of you who are going to school at any level, make sure you do your homework. I know it's a lot of work, and especially for kids nowadays, like kids have way too much fucking homework. But when you do your homework, you can offset some of those awful grades. I am a terrible test taker. Um,
Mm. So it was a
uh,
test.
yeah, it was an exam. It was a straight up exam. So like, but the good news is that I do all of my homework, so I can keep my grades pretty moderate there. Um, but yeah, it's I'm doing econ and I'm doing econ and statistics at the same time, and that's too much brain power for me. That's just too much brain
Mm.
to be using all at once.
You know
But
what? My daughter's in econ and I think statistics stuff. Is some of the classes she's taking right now in high school,
Mhm.
and she was like in an advanced one because last at the beginning of the school year and even last year, she just thinks she's hot shit, which she is. You know, daughter's smart, but I'm like Madison, you haven't even taken the regular yet. Why challenge yourself so much? And she quickly realized through the course of this year she was failing and like being real. So she downgraded to something a little bit lighter. I think like a general, but like but I love that she challenges herself and like you, she's kind of like with exams. She's doing all the homework to like level that out and everything. But I like I was asking you earlier. So how do you balance that out to like move forward and build on that and all of that because I think it's so important how we rise above that, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And for those of you out there, we're both in Northern Virginia, and Northern Virginia is a cutthroat education system. We have three of the top 100 schools in the country in this little area. So like, I get it. I get it. It is not easy, but yeah, it's when it comes to just getting yourself back in place, it's just remembering that it's just one test. It's just one test to do your work.
Well
And
said.
it's just one, and even more importantly, it's just one class. Get your C if you have to, and just move on to the next one. You'll get through it. You'll get through it.
Definitely. Definitely. So what have you been up to since we last recorded, my friend? Are you touching grass or have you been catching up on some TV when
No,
it's
but I
because it's
do
been cold
actually.
outside? It's been cold
It's
outside.
true. It has been cold, but I actually want to turn this into a positive because Kuyapi and I have both been talking. We are literally in the apocalypse. We're not just talking. We're not making comments just because it's happening. We are here. We are directly being impacted by this shit. But one thing that I do want to say, and something that I'm really looking forward to, that's actually starting this weekend. I have not touched grass in a while, and I need to. I went on to volunteer.org, which is a United States federal website, and you can go in and you can actually volunteer at national parks, primarily parks that are smaller, that do not have the funding, even with federal support, to be staffed. And this weekend, my husband and I are both going to begin volunteering at one of our local parks. We're just spending 2 to 4 hours wandering around, making sure there's a presence, helping clean up the trails, so that parks can feel like home. They're supposed to feel safe. They're supposed to feel comfortable, and they're supposed to allow you to just get out and go. So, we can talk about all this negativity, and yes, flip that flag upside down, support parks, do whatever you need to do, but also consider volunteering. There are some really great opportunities. also there, and you don't even have to go outside. There are some great digital opportunities where you can support your national parks, and you can support places like the NIH, the CDC, a whole bunch of really great opportunities. Please check out volunteer.org, and check all the opportunities. You'll see some great stuff. Other than that, though, I'm really excited for it.
Well, props on that. I just want to show you love on that. You're not just talking, you're walking the walk, and that's amazing. Well done.
You got to get yourself out there. Once again, I have friends, they're going to bring their dog. Get out there, enjoy yourself, and just remember that the parks are a safe place. To move forward, lately, I've been watching a lot of screeners. KAYFABEYBABY has been definitely impacted by the going into work bullshit. So I've been watching a lot of stuff that I was not expecting to watch. So lots of screeners. Some stuff I can talk about, some stuff I can't. I'm really excited that I can start talking about Mythic Quest. I actually just got the final episode. But it's been a lot of fun. I did not watch not the BAFTAs, the Emmys. The Emmys happened this weekend. I did not watch that, but we did pause and watch some anime, some new cutesy stuff just to get you kind of relaxed. Also, finally watched Love Lies Bleeding, which KAYFABEYBABY has been stuffing down my throat for like 6 months. And
cannot wait to hear what you think on that one. But stay tuned for the review, y'all. We'll find out together.
And then and my husband, they actually have an extended version of Nosferatu available on Peacock. We were going to watch it, but then we decided that we needed to watch something a little bit more happy-go-lucky, so that's why we moved into anime. But we have officially added the full-length edition with 2 extra scenes onto our calendar.
Might have to check that out.
Yeah,
might have to do an addendum video to our review then, Heather.
Absolutely.
I'm curious on that. I didn't know they were doing that.
Neither did I. I made a joke. I made a joke that we needed to watch it, and he pulled it up, and he's like, "Ha! I get the good one. You had to get the normal one." And I'm like, "Okay, all right."
Wow. All right. Well, shout out to you, John. I look forward to checking that out. I didn't know they were doing that at all. Speaking of my daughter, as I said earlier, we are doing college visits. And may have one that she likes now amongst the other ones that we didn't think she'd like. So I'll share with that to you offline. I don't want to have creepy people.
No, you don't need that.
Finding that out online, but no. Always fun. We're still got a lot more to do, but pleasantly surprised on this one, and I really enjoyed that. So that was cool. A lot of screeners, like you said. I've been doing a lot of that. I binged an entire season for one of the things that we have to watch because as of this recording, we had a bunch of interviews for it. So that was cool. Really cool series. I think people will compare it to The Wire, which I had the pleasure of being involved in for 2 seasons. Great series. So check out that. I'll have a bunch of interviews. We'll talk more on that when I can. But we also have another show that I was hoping to start watching because I loved the trailer. I think we did the trailer to that, Heather, or it might have been the other team. But I'm excited to watch this once we get done with this, with our recordings today. But you'll be doing the majority of the interviews, and I'll have one of them later tomorrow. But from what I saw of the trailer, whether it was me or another or the other team, because I was producing it on the side with the other team, I'm looking forward to checking out that show. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna have interviews and everything associated with that. But yeah, a lot of watching. So stay tuned for a ton of content. We're gonna have a ton of content coming y'all's way. And also we got a particular series from a studio that we've been waiting to finally get some love back. Heather and I just put our bids in for it, and it looks like we're also going to get the entire season, which is also weird. We didn't talk about that, Heather, earlier, and I won't talk to them about that now, but the fact that, we'll be getting the entire season is kind of crazy and kind of cool. So
yeah, we're just for all of you all out there, just to give a sneak peek, we're used to getting like 2 to 4 episodes, exactly. Or even weirder, you like to give us everything but the last episode.
Right?
They're notorious for that shit. So
the fact that we're getting the entire season is insane.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. So a lot to be said there. We cannot wait to talk about it because it comes from where Heather and I come from, our roots. So it's special to us. So it's cool to see that it's coming. So anyway, we won't play with you guys too much longer. We'll talk about what's dropping this week. A lot of indie stuff this week, Heather. And and smaller studio stuff. So very intrigued on what you think about these. Some of these I've already had the pleasure of checking out. I think you already had checked out one of them. So let's dive right into it. We're gonna first start with Riff Raff, coming at us from Roadside Attractions and Grindstone. Let's check it out.
No Slim Jims. Past 2 hours, you've been passing gas like a very sick infant. I gotta breathe all day.
Sorry, Lefty. I had a lot of coffee, okay? Sorry.
And then you use my name? Jesus Christ, Lonnie.
You just said my name.
You catch our names by any chance?
Yeah, he called you Lefty and you called him Lonnie.
Well, I overreacted.
Okay.
Son, we gotta talk about Lefty.
What did you do?
You killed his son.
You're gonna kill us.
What are you doing?
I get horny when I'm scared.
I'm married.
Who cares? It's just us and the shitty wildlife, you know?
This is our son.
We're too young to be grandparents. All because your son couldn't pull out in time. We've got house guests.
I would categorize these as a must kill.
What are we?
Family.
Oh my God.
Can I get you anything?
I'd sell my left tit for an Advil and a cup of coffee.
You said what?
Who was first?
There was this food incident, Rocco, with pubes in my wonton soup. If it's okay, I would just really like to torture him a little bit, if it's okay.
Shouldn't have done that, Rocco. Yeah, knock yourself out.
Oh my God. Are we all gonna die?
You don't have all night?
Wait for me before you two start hitting each other.
You know, once you start killing, it sort of becomes your de facto solution for every problem.
What?
Get off of me.
Gosh.
I'm not gonna.
Come on.
I'm
don't
not
hit me.
gonna, Ruth.
What's a shame? We're gonna put something that hard to waste. Huh?
All right, Riff Raff, coming to theaters this week. It's a wild, dark comedy, people. I have a lot to say when we finally do a review on it, but it's something I would say definitely check out. If you like dark comedies, this is a dark comedy with a wild cast of characters. There's a bunch of scenes that there's not a bunch of scenes, but there's a pair of scenes that I really had me rolling, laughing out loud. But just such an odd cast. It's a weird mix, and there's moments in each throughout the film, but I'm curious what Heather's gonna think when she finally sees it, and what the general audience is gonna think of this film, because it's been a while since we had such a dark comedy like this. So really intrigued. But what do you think, Heather? Riff Raff.
What a fucking cast. Bill Murray, Jennifer Coolidge, Ed Harris. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck wrote this movie?
And there's more you don't even see in that trailer. There's actually one of the scenes in particular that I really enjoyed weren't even in that trailer, and you know them from other shows, and it was hilarious. Yeah, it's such an odd movie. But yeah, Riff Raff hitting theaters this week. So
I mean, it looks fun. It looks goofy. Lucky enough to be able to screen this alongside my husband in preparation. So this is definitely a movie that I think if I watched it without him, he'd get mad. Like,
okay.
Like, it's that kind of cast and crew. So like, yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested. Once again, and the other thing is, we've talked about this a few times. It's nice to see some of these like really popular actors kind of going down to their roots and just doing like some good old fashioned indie shit. You know,
yeah, I haven't seen Bill Murray do a role like this in a while.
He's
been doing
a lot of Easter egg shit lately.
Yeah,
like for the last decade. And rock on to him if he can make his millions by just being in for 5.5 minutes. But like, this looks like he's having fun. And Bill Murray, everyone knows that he's one of the biggest assholes in Hollywood. But like, it's fucking Bill Murray.
Yeah, and he surprisingly paired well with Pete Davidson. Like, it was an interesting, odd coupling in this, but they worked.
To be fair, Pete Davidson seems like the type of guy that can just chameleon his way into like any good relationship, you know? Like he's just so malleable as an actor that he just seems like he could just do that. Like he could just make himself fit in everywhere. So
And Jennifer Coolidge, as you saw from that trailer, is
Phenomenal.
she's got some scene stealing lines that you just let her go off, and she's just hilarious. But it's a weird dark comedy, y'all. I just want to be real. I was like mouth ajar watching the film a little bit. Like, do I like this? Do I not like this? Yeah, it was weird. It was just weird. So stay tuned. We may have a review, and also we may have an interview with the director of the film as well. I'm working on scheduling that out right now. But Riff Raff hitting theaters February 28th. Also hitting theaters this week is Last Breath. Let's check out the trailer for that. Here we go. Oh snap! Here we go.
Diver 2 is on bailout. I will come back for you.
Make sure I'm blind.
Okay, in you go. Stay safe, brother.
Diver, in the water at 300 feet. Bell, do you copy? Comms check.
Comms check.
Slow your breathing down for me, okay?
You're pushing too hard.
Copy.
On the job now. Keep the focus where it needs to be. Diver 1.
Begin equalization.
Charlie, what am I magic?
The thrusters have gone offline.
How many?
All of them.
Ship's moving. Get out of there.
Right now. Copy that.
A smack! There is no more slack. That's everything I've got. The ship's not drifting. Chris has become our anchor. That's never gonna hold.
Chris, on me.
What happens now?
Your umbilical, it's gonna snap. I will come back for you, but you have to get yourself back to the top. I can't rescue you if I can't find you. Understand?
Just make sure I'm blind.
Where's our power?
Dead in the water. We're drifting out of control.
How much gas does he have left? Not enough.
We're gonna be too late. It's a body recovery now.
No, it's not. I'm not losing a diver today.
Okay. Dave! I can't see you!
I got an idea. We'll have to take control of the ship manually.
If we make a mistake, we put the entire ship at risk.
Come on!
This isn't working.
You can do this, buddy.
I'm with you.
Incoming swell. Brace for impact. No! No!
Chris! Diver! Where are you?
All right, hitting theaters this week. Last Breath. Can your anxiety take it, Heather?
Mine can. I'm not really afraid of the deep sea, but this will definitely be fear-inducing for a lot of people. A lot of people. If you're claustrophobic, if you are afraid of dark spaces, if you are afraid of suffocation for any reason, like you are going to be, this is going to be terrifying to you. Like, and what's even more interesting is it's done in a way to tell a semi-true story. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, in making an intense situation for the heck of it,
yeah,
I guess. But I'm not saying, of course, as we know, trailers, the people who create trailers are given what they're given and they create what they can to drive interest. So we could think that this is supposed to be super intense and it's actually like pretty mellow. It actually talks about things like climate change, which are causing bigger swells and making it harder for people to stay afloat in natural situations. And whales are humans.
Well said.
How about you, Ruby?
Well said, Heather. I agree with you. And yeah, no, I agree with all those comments. And I used to serve in the U.S. Navy, so I've been on a ship and been through swells and all that kind of environment. I was watching 0 Day on Netflix. That was another show I was watching over the weekend too. And the world's in chaos. As we've been saying earlier, we're living in the apocalypse. And my wife is like, why are you're mad at the news, everything all going on in the world, and then you're watching Zero Day. Like, why are you doing this to yourself? Why do we watch these things and it's entertainment? Like Civil War last year, that was intense, anxiety, all of that. It's real world, or feels like it's going to be happening. And yet we still drive ourselves to watch that. And we continue to watch these things. And I don't know, it's weird, it's odd, and it's all those things. I don't disagree with you, but we still do. And my thing is, in certain ways, we can learn from it. It's also generally, most times we see a bright results, a happy results at the end. So that's why we endure it, to just hopefully get to that good results. But when you're in these intense times as we are right now, it's like, why do we escape into this when it's supposed to be escapist entertainment, but it's still living the escape that we're escaping from? Like, you're still in that world. You should watch something flowery. You should have like maybe Care Bears or something, or Paddington. Do something like that. So I don't know why I still do it to myself, but I am. It's what we as a culture do. Why is it?
We need to feel. We need to feel. We also need to be aware. It's important that we don't blind ourselves to what's real. We make jokes and we allude to it, but you can't sit on the sidelines. You can't. If you sit on the sidelines, you are purposely ignoring people, and the hardships people are encountering, and you are purposely ignoring the environment. You are purposely ignoring everything, and things that directly involve you. So we do this so that we know that we are feeling, we know that we are empathic, we know, and we are honest to ourselves. Like, one of the great things about this movie is it is based on a true story. You probably won't hear about this story from anywhere other than film. Like, you probably wouldn't be reaching out to it. So it might hurt and it might suck, but it's also keeping us up to date. It's teaching us new things, and it's making sure we have the heart. It's the same reason why true crime people, I'll never forget it. I actually ask this to documentarians all the time for true crime. It's the same reason why people in true crime love true crime. I asked them, how do you feel about the fandom of true crime? And many people have said they hate the idea of a fan of true crime, but it's how people connect to the past, and it's an important history. And it's important to know. So I don't want to get philosophical or anything like I am, but it's these types of films, stories that might hurt us, might really bring us pain, are also important to remember who we are, and that we are human beings that have feelings and emotions, and we need to stay aware.
Well said, Heather. And all of that is going to encapsulate my top pick for this week, which, when you see my interview with the cast of this film, I literally broke down and cried. Let's check out My Dead Friend Zoe. Why is this? There you go.
Can you promise me it won't get, messed up?
Can't click today.
Can you touch this?
If you ever catch me in some sort of, dopey group therapy, you have permission to kill me.
So we're all here? Who wants to start?
My name is Merritt. Deployed to Afghanistan in 2016.
Okay. Aren't we better than this woe is me? Ouchie, my feelings. Let's get out of here. Be quiet.
Merritt. Everything okay?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Grandpa, I've been dealing with some things.
That's what a soldier does. You suck it up.
First platoon said there's a sniper out there.
You think I'm scared? Where are you going? Zoe!
You can't tell anyone.
Burl. Damn, what a name.
Don't say that.
What? I can joke about the dead. These are my people.
Hey. I didn't think, have you ever played Buck Hunter?
No.
That's a new record. Well, damn.
Yeah, I'm crazy enough to say I'm crazy enough to shed my blood for you.
You think I'm crazy? Your mother thinks I'm crazy. But as long as you're under my roof, paper goes in goddamn six.
I would think seriously about what living in the past is worth.
Why would you re-enlist?
The world is not my oyster.
You think the world is my oyster? I'm a black woman in America.
With a lake house.
It's my grandparents' lake house. It is.
Oh, shut up.
All right, dropping in theaters this week, My Dead Friend Zoe. A lot to say about this film. We'll probably have a full review with myself, Heather, and Anthony on the channel soon to go along with the interview that I'll have up as well. What are your thoughts on My Dead Friend Zoe, Heather?
The movie is heavy. It talks about, mental health. It talks about the need to reach out, and it talks about the most fragile among us, many of whom are veterans who saw the worst, not when they were overseas, not when they were in the darkest of battlefields, but when they were right at home and did not receive the support that they should be getting, which the government actively is working to cut. By the way, the VA has received massive cuts, so please call your reps, protect those near you. And with that being said, it was a very sweet and touching movie. We'll talk about it, of course, more. But this is also one of those movies that, yes, watch it. Ed Harris has got a banging week going on.
That's what I was gonna say. Ed Harris is in Riff Raff. It's Ed Harris week at the theater. Crazy. And also what's kind of cool, by the way, Ed Harris is just, I'm gonna say it. I love Ed Harris, great actor, but he's a very white actor. He's a white actor. And Ed Harris is also a brother now, because my man is in 2 mixed relationships this week in both Riff Raff and this movie. Ed Harris is part. Ed Harris, we've drafted him in the racial Olympics. Remember that skit on Chappelle Show?
Oh yeah.
Ed Harris is now part of the. He's the whitest actor in the world. I love Ed Harris. But yeah, I love that he's in 2 mixed relationships. Anyway, just some love, y'all. Just shout out to Ed Harris. He's a wonderful actor.
Yeah, it was really good. And actually, this week really shows his like
range.
Full range. There we go. That's the word. Is it range? Because a lot of people know him in like really heavy duty, more like Riff Raff films, heavy duty like actiony films. My friend Zoe, My Dead Friend Zoe, is a lot more emotional. You get to see him break down a little bit, and it's really beautiful. But to go back to what I was saying, this movie is touching in ways that might actually, and we're talking about, you need to watch movies that remind you of how to feel. You also don't need to watch things that might break you down too much. One, if you have anyone, make sure you reach out to people, make sure you're always talking to people. 2, make sure you are also protecting yourself. Mental health is a very difficult and hard thing to talk about. And some of the topics that are brought up from illness, old age, and other things that I don't want to spoil, just make sure you are protecting your mental state. And so if you cannot watch this because of depression, suicidal thoughts, war, PTSD, any of those things, don't push yourself. This is a beautiful movie and it'll be out there. We suggest it, but protect yourself too.
Yeah. So. Yeah. You're going to feel all the feelings, and that's definitely what I felt. But I'm happy that it exists. It's going to help people that feel like what I felt and gone through, say without saying. If you have a hard time talking about what you're going through, you can direct people to this film to help them understand what you're going through. I am Merritt, and I am Sonica Martins Green's character in this film in a lot of ways. And that's kind of what started making me cry, because I said that to them when I did the interview, because I think if you've gone through this experience, you'll totally relate. And yeah, beautiful film. So I'm not going to dwell there anymore, because tears are feeling its way up, and we don't cry on the NRW. We're super strong out here. I'm playing. No, share your feelings. It's all good. Always be who you are. So this week, Riff Raff, Last Breath, and My Dead Friend Zoe. Where are we on the thumbs up scale this week? Are we to the side? Are we all the way up? I think it's a little bit here, because some of these films might be a little much for certain folks, and it's a little yeah.
The reason why I'm saying it's more like 2/3, 3/4 of the way is because because I don't know about Hold Your Breath. It just doesn't seem like a me movie. But at the same time, I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. I think all of these movies all deserve their time in space. Most of these films, though, are more about your mental state to see versus actually going.
So you gotta be careful with them.
Yeah, so it's. I don't want to say that I don't think any of them are bad choices. But also don't push yourself too hard.
Well said. There you go. So those are our picks. Like I said, Heather is going to have a bunch of interviews dropping on the channel soon. We got a lot of stuff popping off. We've been putting in that work, y'all. So thank you, Heather, for doing that with me. I appreciate you. We're as long as you're having a good time, we're having a good time with it. It's fun. I'm sorry to Heather. I'll put that out there. There's one interview that I'm sorry I took away from her in a way, but I didn't know until like last minute. There's a lot more coming.
I misread. It's on me.
All right, y'all. That's the amazing Heather Hurt. I'm KAYFABEYBABY. Nerds rule the world. If we missed something, hit us up in the comments. If there's something you're loving, hit us up in the comments. Let's just talk about it. And yeah, there you go, y'all. Peace. All right, homie.